It was about 5 hours before the first game of the World Series here at Townsend'S Stadium, and Jake Stewart was excited to sell 2 tickets he had for...
I'm Robert Townsend. Only on 4, I'll tell you about the connection between this motel and one of the suspects now charged with shooting a local police officer. Denisha Taylor says for the last year, her 3 children have gone to this Kansas City daycare without any problems. But last week, Taylor says this stranger gave her the scare of her life. Mayhem, that's how a police officer describes this scene. Take a look, it's happening right here again at 14th of Baltimore. This is the aftermath of the terrible car crash. So the whole thing started on Monday when police say the boy told investigators he found the gun while walking home from school. They also say he told officers he forgot the gun was in his backpack when he came to school. This small house is just riddled with more than 50 bullet holes. Just look at all of these bullet holes around these windows. Tonight at this hour, police are still looking for the 2 gunmen who repeatedly fired into this family's house. Denisha Taylor says for the last year, her 3 children have gone to this Kansas City daycare without any problems. But last week, Taylor says this stranger gave her the scare of her life.
I was crying, I was panicking.
Taylor's heart racing after she says last Monday night, an employee at Emmanuel Family and Child Development Center near Swope Parkway in Prospect called her at work and told her,
Complete stranger.
that this man, a complete stranger Denisha had never seen before.
Never, ever, don't know nothing about this man, don't know where he came from.
Walked inside her children's daycare.
He was like, well, I'm here to pick up 2 girls and a boy.
And told a front desk worker that he was there to take Taylor's 2- and 6-year-old daughters and her 11-year-old son with him.
I love my babies. They my pride and joy. It's pretty scary.
Scary indeed, because a baffled Taylor says the stranger, caught on video by a daycare security camera, also
Try to pronounce their names.
apparently knew her kids' names and knew that they would be at their daycare at night.
I don't even know how he would even know what daycare to even go to.
Taylor says fortunately the alert daycare worker became suspicious.
So she was like, well, sir, what's your name? And he was like, oh, I have my ID on me.
But when the stranger couldn't produce an ID,
He was like, oh, I don't have my ID. But mom's in the car. And she was like, okay, well, can you go get mom?
the center's director says the now spooked stranger finally left the daycare, Taylor's children safe.
It has made me more protective.
The relieved mom contacted police. Now she hopes they can find this guy.
I'm scared he might come back.
Very scary because, you know, just today's world and people are so crazy and wicked. We don't know what he had in mind, but I'm just thankful that my staff knew what to do.
Robert Townsend, Fox 4 News. This roadside memorial you'll see right here is for the child and teenager who were killed at this intersection. Now, the man many believe caused their deaths didn't say a word to me this afternoon. Now, I did talk briefly to his brother face to face. It's been almost 2 weeks since witnesses told Kansas City police they saw 52-year-old Terry Gray speeding and weaving in and out of lanes just moments before investigators say Gray's black Dodge pickup slammed into the back of Edwin Raudales' silver car and set off a multi-car crash, a chain reaction crash that killed 16-year-old Samantha Raudales and a 3-year-old girl. Raudales' dad was critically injured. Police initially handcuffed Gray at the scene, took his statement, and took him to police headquarters. So far, Gray has not been charged because prosecutors are still waiting for the results of his toxicology test to come back. Today, Fox 4 went to Independence and tracked Terry Gray down at his brother's house. Hello. Gray, who has since cut his hair and shaved off his beard, answered the front door. Here you can see only the side of him. Gray then quickly stepped aside and didn't say a word. Robert Townsend, Fox 4, how are you?
I already know who you are.
But his brother, here in the red shirt, did come out on the front porch. How are you, sir?
I'm alive.
When I tried to ask him about his brother, the deadly car crash, and the serious allegations his brother could face. Hey, are you
An attorney, and you're just going to have to get a release from them.
your brother has a lawyer now?
Well, we've retained one, but there's been no charges. He ain't done nothing. You just don't understand, and it's just the way it is.
A source tells Fox 4 Terry Gray told police he suffered a seizure at the time of the deadly multi-car crash.
Was he sick? Did he have a
No comment.
And before he slams the door,
Was he sick or did he have a seizure?
I can't say that.
nor did he tell me the name of the lawyer he and his brother are now talking to. We'll definitely have more on this coming up at 10. I'm Robert Townsend, Fox 4 News.
I never think this happened at all.
DeAndre Baker says he's experiencing the worst time of his life.
Terrible nightmare. I just want to wake up, for real. But I know it's real.
He and his family cannot believe they're mourning DeAndre's little boy, Draviante Baker. He was just 8 years old.
I just want y'all to know he was a real free spirit. He liked to have fun. He was real energetic, just goofy, just like me.
I mean, he loved his siblings, especially his baby sister. Like, he clinged to her, she clinged to him.
DeAndre Baker says Friday afternoon, Draviante, a third grader at Truman Elementary, left school and was excited about spending another weekend with his dad.
The neighbor called me across the street.
A phone call that stopped the stunned dad in his tracks.
When she told me what was going on, I dropped the phone. And I just started shaking my head like, hold on, nah. Pick my phone back up and everybody on the phone crying.
No one could believe Draviante, who was outside his home, riding his wagon and playing with a 9-year-old buddy for just a few minutes, had been hit by a garbage truck. DeAndre says his son died at the scene 2 weeks before Christmas.
It ain't the same. I felt him last night. And every time I see his pictures, it hurt.
You know, just trying to be strong for Dad. It's like nobody should ever have to go through that with a child. You have fun? Yeah.
Today, Draviante's dad and stepmom took the boy's 5 siblings to a park for fun and pizza, but neither this outing nor the holiday will be the same because this little light is gone.
All the support and everybody reaching out is helping, but it'll never be the same.
Ain't no easy way to bite that bullet.
Now, tomorrow the family will gather around this memorial you'll see right here for a balloon release. Draviante's funeral will be held on Saturday. Robert Townsend, Fox 4 News. Some online angels came to the Morrow family's rescue. That's after hearing the family's electricity was turned off this holiday season. 8-year-old Rashad Morrow is a third grader at Silver City Elementary School in KCK. Today he enjoyed playing outside with his friends, but recently
it was not no fun. We couldn't do nothing.
Rashad felt sad and down because he says he, his 2 siblings, and their mom had been living in the dark.
We had a candle and it was in by the TV so we can see.
And I struggle by myself, taking care of them by myself.
For the last 4 years, 27-year-old Rashay Morrow worked from home in healthcare, but recently her pregnancy became a high risk and her doctors advised her to slow down. So when the single mom suddenly stopped working, Rashay says her utility bill spun out of control and jumped to a whopping $457.
Oh man.
Rashad knew his mom couldn't afford to pay the electric bill.
And so I asked him, I said, Rashad, write about what you want for Christmas.
And he did. But in his letter, Rashad didn't ask for another ball to kick around. His Christmas wish?
I said, I want my lights on. I'd rather give my Christmas money to her to stand in the dark.
No way would Tammy Hout allow her student to do that. So Tammy sounded the alarm on Facebook. And in just a matter of hours,
There were people from my church community, people from school.
the generous givers opened their hearts and wallets and paid the Morrow family's entire electric bill. And today, Tammy Hout and her holiday helpers surprised Rashad and his siblings
8, 9, 10.
with more than 30 Christmas gifts.
It's just been a blessing to be able to watch it come together for you guys.
Thank you.
And Rashad says one more thing he wants this Christmas, of course, a remote control helicopter. Now, little elf tells me he just might find it in one of those boxes on Christmas morning. Robert Townsend, Fox 4 News. Kansas City, Missouri police this morning are on the scene of a homicide. Chief Darrell Forte tells Fox 4 it happened in the 8600 block of Truce. The chief says the victim was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle. Now, investigators are asking if anyone has any information to call the TIPS hotline. And welcome back. So get ready to get loud. Kansas City is one step closer to reclaiming its title as the home to the world's loudest sports facility. The Guinness Book of World Records has given Chiefs fans the approval to compete for the official record of loudest crowd roar at a sports stadium. Whoever heard such a thing, right? Earlier this week, a group of hardcore Chiefs fans created a Facebook group called Terrorhead Returns in hopes of getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. Now, they also want to reclaim the title from the Seattle Seahawks, who claim they have the loudest stadium in the NFL. The mark is to beat 131.7 decibels to set the record. That was set at a soccer match in Turkey. Terrorhead Returns must now determine which home game has the best chance of beating that mark. We shall see. Thank you for joining us, spending this morning with us. I'm Robert Townsend. Have a good day.
It was about 5 hours before the first game of the World Series here at Townsend'S Stadium, and Jake Stewart was excited to sell 2 tickets he had for